Budget home decorating tips. Introduction. For anybody, decorating on a budget can be a challenge, but it also can be very rewarding. It will also teach you how to showcase your home. In this book, we will provide great ideas and tips for decorating various rooms within your home without going over budget. Just by adding a few small but creative and decorative details, you can make any home look like $1 million. As long as you approach your decorating on a budget creatively, it should not only save you money, but will be fun also. If you want to create the perfect look for your home and you are on a budget, then you need to get creative. It is not impossible to design a new look for any room in the home on a shoestring. So as long as you are willing to invest your time and energy, then you should be able to make a room go from plain to perfect in no time at all. As already mentioned above, decorating on a budget can be fun. So instead of looking at the more expensive items that are available, why not instead start looking at their inexpensive counterparts? There are plenty of companies around which offer items that look as good as the more expensive items for the home, at half the price. The real test for anyone who is decorating on a budget is their ability to take an inexpensive item and then be able to camouflage its real value. So what they should be able to do is make a $10 item look like a $100 item instead. This can certainly be achieved. All it requires is a little patience and a little decorating know-how. However, when decorating on a budget, it does not mean that you have to cut down on the quality of everything that you want. Not only can decorating on a budget be fun, but if creatively undertaken, it can also be done with flair and style. It is important when doing any decorating on a budget that you have a plan. So you need to know what furniture you need, if any. What color scheme do you want for each room? What style do you want? By doing this, you will not waste time and money in purchasing things that you do not need, and also that you do not like. In fact, budget decorating is all about knowing what is a good deal and what isn't. So why not give it a try? And as long as you make your decorating on a budget fun and enjoyable, you will find that it can be done. Chapter 1. A few decorating budget tips to get you started. The first thing you should remember when decorating is that there are no rules except those that you set for yourself. However, having a plan is always a good idea and will help you to keep on budget. Below are provided a number of tips that will help you get started. 1. Trust yourself. Remember, you will know more about what looks good for your home than you think. 2. Focal points. Select the most important element in a room, say a fireplace, and make this the focal point. Then place furnishings and objects around it to draw a person's eye towards it. You could, if you want, direct the person's eye towards, say, a window, which then directs them to look outside into the garden. 3. Themes. Provide each room with a theme. You may just decide on a color, or it may be a particular style, say French country or Italian Tuscany, for say the kitchen. Doing this will give you a starting point and will help to guide you through the decorating stages. 4. Planning. When planning your design, work from the largest area of the room to the smallest. For instance, start with walls, windows, floors, furnishings, and then finish with accessories. It is important to remember the larger the decorating surface, the more impact it will have on the finished design. But the most important thing of all when decorating on a budget is to have fun. Chapter 2. How to decorate a living room on a budget. In this chapter, we will look at a number of different ways to provide a new look to your living room. It may be that you are just starting out in a new home, or that you would like to revive an old, tired space. But decorating any room, and especially the living room, can be a real challenge. It can be even more of a challenge when you only have small budget to work with. But the biggest hurdle that we face is how to get a look that expresses our unique personality without spending a fortune. However, by looking at the items you already have in a different way, you should be able to create a cozy family room for almost next to nothing. Below are provided a number of decorating tips, which should help to turn a drab living room into a warm and friendly place for everybody to gather. 1. Paint. Paint one wall using your favorite color, and so make this the focal point of the room. Then hang a piece of interesting art on the wall. It could even be something you have made yourself. Next, place a nice piece of furniture on that side of the room to provide even more accent to the wall. If you want to add extra impact to the wall, then why not use a rubber stamping technique? Although it is extremely easy to do, rubber stamping can look very impressive when finished. 2. Use an area rug. This is a great way to define a conversation area and look for one which will complement the decor of the room. Rather than lying it straight, put it at an angle underneath your coffee table, if you have one. Or if not, then just place it in a central location where the seating is situated. Why not add some large cushions as well? 3. Pictures and mirrors. Hang those which most reflect your personality. If you are able to, try frames that are more ornate. Plus, when hanging a mirror, place it in a position where it will reflect either a nice view or an interesting architectural element of the room. Including a mirror in a room also creates the illusion of more space in a room because of the light reflecting off it. 4. Lighting. Replace lamps, as these are one thing that will provide clues to your room being outdated. If you are unable to replace the whole lamp, then just consider replacing the lampshade instead. 5. Coffee table. If your coffee table is looking tired or scratched, then cover it with a small decorative throw rug. Or if you want to be a bit more adventurous, then why not consider tiling the top of it with mosaic tiles or colored glass instead. 6. Rearrange the furniture, but do not think square. Instead, put your furniture at an angle. By doing this, you are giving a whole new look to the layout of your room, and is much more inexpensive than going out and buying new furniture. Also pay attention to the floor space that you have left and use it. You could actually get some scatter cushions and use these as additional seating. It will provide your living room with a much more relaxed atmosphere. 7. Plants. Use plants to add freshness and impact to the decor of your room, and if placed strategically, will hide any ugly flaws in a room. Finally, if you do not need it, then remove it. You can either donate it to your local charity or ask a family member or friend if they could use it. By decluttering a space, you will not only be providing yourself with more room, but you will also be gaining a whole new look. Chapter 3. Ways to decorate your dining room when your budget is tight. We will now look at a number of different ways for decorating a dining room to give it a whole new lease on life without breaking the bank. 1. Why not cover the table with some fabric in order to hide any ugly surfaces? You could then use the colors in the fabric as the basis for the new decor for the room. 2. The use of inexpensive accessories will help to change the whole appearance of your dining room. Get some candles and candle holders in order to provide a different look and feel to your room. 3. Why not make a wall hanging for the room? If you can, purchase some Chinese posters. These are inexpensive, as they are easy to turn into wall hangings. 4. Why not see if where you live has a furniture bank? This is where you can arrange to drop off any old pieces of furniture that you have and no longer want. Then all you need to do is choose a piece from what they have there to replace the piece you have donated. You may find the ideal dining table and chairs that you want for the theme of your room. 5. The rule of 3. Instead of placing items together as even-numbered groups, do it in odd numbered groups instead, where two candlesticks together look symmetrical. By adding a bowl or another smaller candlestick holder, you will give the element of surprise. Plus, by mixing colors and textures in order to form groups of 3 in a room, it will provide you with a whole new look also. 6. As previously mentioned, when looking to redecorate your living room, move the furniture. You can also do this in your dining room. Instead of the table being horizontal to the walls, why not place it in the room at an angle? But make sure you have enough space to walk around it. Also, move any cupboards, etc. away from walls, and instead place these in corners of the room at angles. By doing this, you are giving your dining room a whole new look. 7. Why not build and attach a fold-down shelf to one of your dining room walls? It will certainly make it easier for you when entertaining, and can be used as a buffet area also. 8. How about giving your dining room cabinets a new lease on life and paint them to accentuate the color of the room? Check at your local paint supply store or DIY store, as well as online for advice on how to paint unusual surfaces. 9. Use a mirror in order to create light and space in your dining room. Frame one in such a way that it creates a mock window. You could even use one by placing it behind some artistic belongings in order to highlight them from all sides. 10. If your dining room chairs are looking a little tired and dated, then cover them with slip covers. Why not try making some covers yourself? Why not purchase another tablecloth or two that matches the one you use for your table, and upholster them in this as well? 11. Finally, why not repaint the room? You do not need to do the whole room. Just paint 1 or 2 walls with an accent color. Maybe go for a color which will accent all the various aspects of the room and integrates well with any soft furnishings that you have. Chapter 4. Some ways to decorate your kitchen on a budget. For many people, the thought of redecorating their kitchen can be frightening. They start thinking that they need to replace everything in order to get a whole new look. But this they do not need to do. By just following a few or all of the tips provided below, you should be able to create something new for next to nothing. 1. Instead of replacing the cabinets in your kitchen, why not repaint them? There are many techniques around which are easy to learn and will provide your cabinets with an expensive designer look. Such techniques as crackling, faux finishing, and glazing are not only simple to do, but will save you money. If you need help on looking for ways to update old and tired kitchen cabinets, then take a look on the internet. 2. Provide your kitchen walls with a new lick of paint. By painting your walls in warm and inviting colors, you will make the room even more of the hub of the home. Plus, if you have good quality wooden cabinets, a new coat of paint will help the wood to appear richer. 3. Why not spend a little of your budget on purchasing some new hand towels and pot holders that will match the color of your new decor? 4. Another simple and easy tip for redecorating your kitchen, and will cost you nothing, is to get beautiful dishes and glassware out of the cupboards and use them to accentuate the kitchen. 5. But a great way of changing the whole decor of your kitchen is by putting up new curtains. You could try this first before you do anything else. They will help to create a fresh new look to your kitchen, and they certainly will not break the bank. Plus, you may well find that just making this one change will give your kitchen a completely different look. By changing your curtains, you could actually bring out the personality of the kitchen with little or no effort on your part. 6. Why not use fabric in your kitchen? If you have appliances that you wish to hide, then using a fabric is a cheap and cost-effective way of doing this. Just get some material that coordinates with the decor of your kitchen and some wire and hooks, and then just place the fabric in front of the appliance. Hey, presto, it's covered up, and the fabric provides a new dimension to your room. Plus, if it should get dirty, all you need to do is take it off and put it in the washing machine and wash it. 7. Why not consider replacing the cabinet doors? There are many companies around which provided many different designs, colors, and shapes of kitchen cabinet doors. This is a much more cost-effective way of giving your kitchen a whole new look without actually having to replace the whole cabinet. 8. Also, why not just replace the ironmongery on your cabinet doors and get new handles? Just by doing this, you will be giving your kitchen a whole new look. 9. One other affordable way of making your kitchen look different is by adding a kitchen island. They not only provide you with more counter space, but they provide a place where people can gather. However, for those of us on a budget, instead of getting a permanent one, why not instead consider getting a kitchen cart? Because they are on wheels. When not being used, they can be put away, and so leave you with room in your kitchen. 10. Finally, if your kitchen redecorating budget is so small that you would be unable to do any of the above, then why not think about replacing the backsplash instead? Just by doing this, you can really dress up that drab and dull kitchen that you have. The great thing about backsplashes is that they now come in a variety of different colors and materials, as well as styles. But how much you spend on this will depend on what material you select for it. So as you can see, redecorating your kitchen on a budget can be as simple as just giving the walls a new coat of paint or changing the existing hardware or doors on your cabinets. But just by making one small change to your kitchen, you can give it a whole new look. In Chapter 5, a few helpful tips for redecorating your bathroom when on a budget. Before you start thinking about any decorating you would like to do in your bathroom, you need to make sure that it is in good shape. It is important that you make sure there are no leaks and that all the caulking is tight. You do not want to complete the redecoration of your bathroom only to find a leak, and that you will have to completely redecorate after it has been fixed. Unfortunately, although the bathroom is one of the easiest and least expensive to decorate, it is often the most neglected. For many of us, redecorating our bathroom consists of replacing an old shower curtain with a new one, and that's it. But hopefully, using the tips provided below, you should be able to produce a whole new and inviting look to your bathroom. 1. You can make a huge impact on this room by getting rid of any dark wood and old hardware on cupboards. Just by using some paint and replacing the handles on the doors, you will give the room a completely different look. 2. Why not put some plants in your bathroom, as they thrive in such an environment? 3. Use light. Bright colors will create the illusion of space even in the smallest of spaces, which many bathrooms are. 4. Change the light fixtures, as the right type of lighting can make a huge difference to any bathroom. 5. Why not consider replacing the taps to your bath and sinks? Just by replacing the tired, old-looking taps to your bath, you will give it a completely different look, and it's an inexpensive way of updating an old room. 6. Instead of buying a new shower curtain, why not instead choose to use a regular curtain? This can be hung from a tension rod and backed with a shower curtain liner. Such liners come in a variety of colors and are inexpensive to buy. 7. Get a few candles. Not only are they attractive, but they instantly add warmth even when not lit to a space. Also, there is so much variety of colors, shapes, and sizes of candles available that I think you will find it difficult to choose exactly what you want. But it is best if you buy ones which will coordinate with the decor of your bathroom. Plus, add a few bars of scented soap, and your bathroom will soon feel warm and luxurious. In fact, before long, by using the tips provided above, your bathroom will look fresh and bright. Not only this, but you will know just how easy it is to do and how inexpensive it is. Soon, you will be ready to start decorating another room in your home. In Chapter 6, some tips on redecorating the master bedroom when finances are tight. It really is quite easy to change the look of your bedroom without spending a fortune. Just using a little creativity on your part will go a long way to improve the layout and look of your haven away from the stresses and strains of modern life. 1. A good thing to do before you start redecorating your room is to declutter. Unfortunately, many of us tend to use our bedrooms as dumping grounds because they are away from the public eye. So put any items that you don't need away in labeled boxes and store them either under the bed, in a closet, or the garage or loft. 2. Next, why not give the walls a new coat of paint? This is the most inexpensive way of changing the look of a room, as well as the one that will have the most impact. You do not even need to paint the whole room. You could just repaint one particular area that may be in need of renovation, such as the wall behind the bed. But you do not even need to change the color. All you need to do is paint on a fresh coat of the paint that is already there. However, whether you decide to change the color or use the same color, you will find that the feel of the room will have changed. You could even consider putting up a border or stenciling some designs onto the walls in order to give the walls a little more life. Both of these ways are inexpensive and will give any tired old room a new lease of life. 3. Why not have a rummage through your drawers for scarves, tablecloths, or pillowcases that complement the color scheme of your bedroom? Such things can be used to soften the top of a dresser or the edge of your bedside table. 4. By adding scent to your room, you will be changing the way the room feels. If, however, you do not have any potpourri, then cut up some orange peel and allow it to dry. Once dry, mix it with whatever sweet spices you have, say cinnamon, ginger, or allspice, and then put it in an open bowl in your bedroom to freshen it up. 5. Get some old baskets and hang them up in nooks and corners of your bedroom. Not only will they add style to the room, but will provide you with additional storage space also. 6. A great way to change the look and feel of a bedroom inexpensively is by buying a new lamp or even just a lampshade. Choose a color and style that will complement the decor of your room. Such an item can be used to accent the color scheme of your room also. It is important to remember that the bedroom is a place where we spend much of our downtime. So why not spend a little time making a haven for yourself, which will not break the budget? In Chapter 7, How to Decorate the Nursery When Your Budget is Small. For every new parent, they have a vision of what the perfect nursery should look like. But really, is there any need for you to spend $2,000 in order to decorate and furnish a space that, in a couple years, they will have outgrown? In fact, you do not need to spend a fortune of decorating a nursery for that new arrival. In this chapter, we will look at several different ways in which a nursery can be decorated, no matter how small your budget is. 1. Instead of using wallpaper, paint the nursery instead. Why not choose colors which will coordinate with the baby's toys, rather than going for the traditional colors? Also, why not invite friends and family round and get them to dip their hands into a pot of paint and place their handprints on the wall? They could even sign their names underneath if they want. Doing it this way, your baby will get to enjoy a brightly colored room full of contrasting patterns. This is of a special appeal to young infants. Also, it is an interesting way of introducing them to those people who will be important in their life as they grow up. 2. You do not have to be artistically inclined, but if you want, why not add some stencil designs to the walls? This is inexpensive, as well as an easy way of adding different elements and features to a baby's room. However, it is best to choose stencils which will match the theme of the room. 3. Where the floor is concerned, make sure that you have a stain-resistant carpet or just have hardwood floors with some scatter rugs on it. But if you already have carpet lay and you are worried that it may not stand up well, then why not get an area rug which will cover and protect it? 4. When you are decorating a nursery, why not consider buying some pieces second-hand or used instead? The advantage to this is that you may find items that are of a higher quality than you would normally purchase. Or it may be you find a vintage piece of furniture, which you can then refinish to match the decor of the nursery. 5. Why not get an old, beat-up chest of drawers and then paint with a high-gloss paint and then replace the handles on it? 6. Also, consider buying a piece of furniture that can be used for many different things. Do not spend money on buying a changing table. Rather, buy yourself a dresser that is about waist-high and sit a changing mat on top. Then fill the drawers with all your nappy needs. In order to stop the pad from slipping, place a small bath mat with rubber backing face down underneath it. Then, once the child is older, the chest of drawers can be used as it was intended. 7. Instead of spending large amounts of money on buying storage boxes for your nursery, why not use baskets and shelves instead to store toys and other infant essentials? There are many decorating ideas around for nursery, and which will save you money. Hopefully, the ideas above will help you when making decisions on how to decorate a nursery on a small budget. In Chapter 8, a few ways for decorating a child's bedroom when on a budget. When starting any project where a child is concerned, it would be a great idea if you get them involved. What you need to remember is that this is their room, and you want the space to reflect just who they are and what they love. So why not grab a pen and some paper, as your child is likely to come up with 100 of ideas, and get talking. 1. When decorating a child's room, choose the wall color carefully. It is important that you pick a color that matches the theme that you have chosen to make sure that everything complements and looks like they belong together. 2. If you want to add a splash of color to a child's room and do not want to repaint, then add a solid colored rug. 3. As curtains can be expensive, why not get a blind instead? Then hang a sheer panel in front of it. You can also add some color to a sheer panel so that it further complements the child's room by painting it with fabric paints. You could even let your child do it themselves. 4. Why not purchase a new light or lampshade to match the theme? This is a great way of adding a new look to your child's room, as well as being a cost-effective way of reducing the light they use in their rooms. Also, why not just buy a plain lampshade and then get some acrylic paints and let your child decorate it themselves? 5. If you want to have bedding that will complement your child's bedroom, but cannot afford to buy new bedding sets, why not instead buy some flat sheets? Only cost a few dollars and come in a wide range of colors, and can easily be used for duvet covers by being sewn together. But not only can you use them to make duvet covers, but also for simple curtains and pillowcases, which will complement the decor of the room. 6. Also, why not personalize something for their walls? You could make photographs of them and the family and pets into a collage. 7. Another great way of making their room, and which will not break the bank, is to create a comfort zone. All you need are some big pillows or a plush or inflatable chair, but make sure that it is something your child will enjoy sitting on and relaxing in. Also, as they will use this area for reading, then you will need to place some books close by. Do this by putting some small shelves or some plastic boxes on the side in the area and putting their books in them. Chapter 9. How to decorate a teenager's room when you have budget constraints. If you are the parent of a teenager, Sooner or later, the subject of redecorating what has been a child's room will come up. A teenager's room is different from a child's room in that it should be treated more like an adult space, but it should have a slightly fun flair to it also. It is best if you involve your teenager in coming up with a theme that will help to express who they are, and not what you want. Also, when redecorating your teenager's room, let them choose the colors, but provide them with some guidance. So why not let them have a look on the internet and see what they can find? When redecorating a teen's room, remember that they are very sensitive to color, and they are much more free with their sense of adventure. Why not go for using a bolder color on the wall behind the bed? And in this way, you have a great focal point. Plus, it will save on you having to decorate the whole room. Also, it means that you can include a color in the room that they really like and want, but which will not overpower the room completely. Another way to redecorate your teen's room, when on a tight budget, is to change the window covering. Instead of curtains, why not get them blinds instead? Because they come in so many different designs, colors, and materials, there is likely to be something that they will like. Why not get hold of a small table and turn this up into a cool makeup vanity by painting it to match your teenager daughter's bedroom decor? Also, you could get some colorful bed linens to bring all the elements of the decorating you have done together. You could even purchase extra sheets, which can be made into curtains and lampshades that will match the rest of the decor. If you cannot afford to replace a worn-out carpet in your teen's bedroom, then opt to have it taken up and go for low-maintenance painted floors with some throw rugs. Also, why not include some large cushions which they can use when their friends come round? It will provide them with a much more relaxing and friendly atmosphere for them, and a place where they can get away from it all. Rather than replacing a perfectly good bed, instead, just get a more adult-like headboard for it instead. Plus, by rearranging your teen's furniture in their room, you will be able to give it a whole new dramatic look. Many successful teen room makeovers can quickly and easily be accomplished just by changing the layout of a room. Also, by introducing new accessories and lighting to their room, it can help to change the look of a teen's room dramatically. If you want to make a teen's room look a little funkier, then pick up some fringe or beading from a clearance table at the local craft store. You can then glue this around the bottom edge of the lampshade and the hems of curtains to provide a new look. You could even glue it around the edges of shelves. Why not keep those free CDs that such people as AOL put into magazines, etc., and turn them over onto the reverse side and glue them to the frame of a mirror or to cover a closet door? Another great way is to glue them in an overlapping fashion and use them as a faux frame for your teen's posters. So, as you can see, there are many ways in which a teen's bedroom can be redecorated and will not end up costing the parents an arm or a leg. A conclusion: so if you love decorating and want to challenge yourself, then the best way to do this is by doing it on a budget. There is nothing quite like batting against your impulses in order to purchase everything you need so that you stay within your budget. However, saying that, decorating on a budget can be fun, and if you learn to relax and keep away from the more expensive items, you should find it easy to do. One of the biggest challenges faced by anyone when decorating on a budget is to stay within their budget constraints. So before you start the work, make a plan and stick to that plan, and this will help you with staying on budget. But should you happen to spend more than you anticipated on one particular item, then you should remove something else from your list. This will then help to get you back on track where your budget is concerned.